In the path of spirituality, one of the most subtle and dangerous obstacles is the ego, the feeling of self-importance. It manifests not just in overt pride but also in subtle ways, through actions done for praise, through assuming the role of the helper, the teacher, the benefactor. Saints warn us that even good deeds, if driven by a sense of personal greatness, can become a trap. True spirituality involves humility, surrender, and the recognition that all good flows through us only by God's grace. One such voice of deep social commitment, tempered by complete spiritual humility, was Gadge Maharaj, the 20th century saint from Maharashtra. He was a tireless reformer who cleaned streets, built dharmashalas, and urged people to live ethical lives. But behind all his immense work lay the principle of egoless service, refusing to claim credit, seeing himself only as an instrument in God's hands. Discourse. On analyzing the causes of people's difficulties, one is driven to the conclusion that they spring basically from bodily pain or illness and insufficiency of money. Help in these two respects would, apparently, make most people happier, and so my mind started to ponder on the idea. Considering first the item of money, I noted that being myself penniless and devoid of a desire to earn or own money, I must first create such urge in myself, then acquire and conserve money, and thereafter spend it in the service of the needy. This, however, is not so easy as it appears. For who can guarantee that the basic desire to earn and conserve money will not dominate my heart and dissuade it from giving it away? That will amount to polluting the mind with greed, from which, fortunately, it is free today, and the remedy will thus be worse than the disease. I shall, in that event, not only be unable to assist others, but also be losing the present purity of heart from base desires and tendencies. The other item is pain of the body. One who has utterly rid himself of the body am I feeling cannot adequately appreciate an other's body pain. Consequently, I shall have to recreate in myself the body am I feeling. Even if that is done, and the other's bodily ailment is cured, is there any guarantee that the trouble will never recur, or that another ailment will not arise? You know, today's colic may be stopped, but there are hundreds of disorders that may crop up at a later time. Thus, there is no permanent immunity from all types of human misery. And on the other hand, the curer himself may have to suffer spiritual degradation. There are two principal causes that destroy the innocence of childhood, money, and worldly knowledge. Both these create a sense of self-importance, and this sense is harmful for the spiritual pursuit. The feeling I belong to so-and-so is greatly helpful, for then we tend to ascribe all doership and greatness and goodness to the master, instead of taking credit ourselves and unknowingly pampering the feeling of self-importance. Gadge Maharaj was a saint who could have easily become a public figure of power and prestige, given his popularity and massive impact. Yet he slept on floors, wore tattered clothes, and remained deeply suspicious of fame. Once, when invited by a wealthy donor to stay in comfort during one of his tours, Gadge Maharaj politely declined and instead chose to sleep near a village garbage heap, where he began cleaning it at dawn. "Let the ego stay far from my doorstep," he reportedly said. He feared that even the admiration of others could become an obstacle in his connection with Rama. His mission was clear: serve without self, work without pride, love without expecting love in return. Even when praised by great leaders like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar or applauded by thousands, Gadge Maharaj remained grounded in his belief. All credit belongs to Rama. I am but his broom. Spiritual life is not just about big ideals, but about subtle vigilance, especially against the ego. The need to appear important, to do good but seek praise, to serve but feel superior. These are traps more dangerous than failure. Saints like Gadge Maharaj exemplify a life of inner renunciation while remaining outwardly active. Let us remember, the moment we say I did it, we lose the fragrance of the flower we offered. True seva is silent, ego-free, and rests in the faith that everything flows from God and returns to Him alone.